Good afternoon. How's everybody?
Great.
Everyone's spectacular. I love it. I love it. Welcome to the Hollywood Squares. All righty. So I hope everyone had a great day today. A couple of updates for you before we dive into any questions that you might have. I know that more and more of you are actually receiving your stimulus checks if you are eligible. So, woo! If you haven't received your stimulus check and you are eligible, do watch for that because I know they're heading out. I was reminded this morning that they are going to the bank account that was on your 2018 tax return, unless you've already filed your 2019 tax return, then it's going there. And so if the bank account that was on your 2018 tax return, the direct deposit information is somehow different, you need to be contacting that bank because that check is going there. And before they bounce it back to the IRS, you want to see if you can catch it. If they bounce it back to the IRS, you have to wait for a paper check. So just as an FYI. The unemployment update. Oh, God help us with this unemployment thing. Here's what I have for you as of today. We have a document which I'm going to scan and send to everybody before I leave tonight from the Department of Labor in the state of Connecticut, basically saying, we know there's a whole lot of stuff that the federal government has put in place for all recipients, and then another level of things that the federal government has put in place for typically non-eligible recipients, aka all of you, and none of it's ready. So hang in there. That's pretty much what these documents say. So the whole federal unemployment deal, at least in our state, I have to believe it's all states are suffering from this because no one was prepared to handle it. They're working on adapting their websites to be able to take some of those applications. Some of you were asking me as recently as this morning, do I still wait? I haven't filed this with the state. Do I wait? Do I hold on and file when the other portal is open? As we talked about the other day, I'm just going to reiterate. My opinion is go ahead and file. If you think you're going to file for unemployment, go ahead and do that using the state the CTDOL portal that you have available to you now. I do know of one of our agents. I know a number of you have received an email saying we got your claim, right? The good news is that the state has been working really diligently to outsource some of the processing. So they're doing manual processing. Now they're outsourcing some of the processing to try and catch up. Just so you know, in the last couple of weeks, the state of Connecticut alone has received nearly 300,000, about 320,000 applications for unemployment. They typically get that amount of applications in a 2-year period of time. 2-year period of time. They've received that in the last 3 to 4 weeks, right? So they were backed up. They were telling us 5 to 6 weeks in just processing applications. Because of the outsourcing that's happening now, that is supposed to be down to between a week and 2 weeks. So more of you who have filed will be receiving things from the state. Mostly you're going to get an email that says, we've received your claim, please stay tuned, right? I do know of one of our agents, and I think probably was one of the first people to go ahead and file. He did receive an actual response. He got a phone call, and now it's being followed up with a letter saying, at this point in time, thank you for filing. At this point in time, you do not qualify because you're an independent contractor, right? And so what's unclear right now is the fact that he filed. Is he now just kind of in place waiting for the new federal stuff to come in, and then they'll pick him back up once the federal stuff comes in? Or does he have to redo it once the federal portal opens? we still don't have an answer. Try as we might, even with having some of these people on the telephone, they just don't know the answers. And so it's not a matter of finding the right people, because right now the right people don't really exist. Everybody who actually has any information doesn't have this specific information. So do stay tuned on that. I had hoped to have some better clarity for you on that once we started to receive direct contact from the Department of Labor, and yet unfortunately we do not. What makes all of it so confusing is that if you read the document that I'm going to send you, it talks about the federal version of this unemployment assistance as one of the requirements being you have to be denied by the state for your regular unemployment first. That's written in there. And so I read that and think, well, maybe everyone has to go through the current Department of Labor site to get officially denied and then picked up by the federal. And yet it's unclear. So the good news is those of you who filed, you'll start receiving some version of something. If you could do me a favor and just keep me in the loop, whoever receives something, keep me in the loop. I did receive some, those of you who sent that earlier, some of the information. Alice, yes, thank you very much for some of that info. And Jim and a couple of others of you. Keep sending that to me so that we can keep tabs on what they're telling you. And so we can report back as we get changes. The PPP, for those of you who had filed for the PPP, either for yourselves as independent contractors or for yourselves as employers, if you actually had payroll costs, know that today the federal government announced that the money that was supposed to last until June is now done in less than 2 weeks. So if you think that the need wasn't enormous out there, all of the $349 billion that was set aside for the PPP is accounted for and done. I don't know what that means for those of you who did file. I'm trying to find out myself. We filed 4 different applications for our businesses, and the only thing that we have heard back is, yes, we received them. I know some people who have received calls saying, yes, you're approved, but they haven't been funded, right? And yet, for everyone that I seem to know hasn't received a dime. And if you remember, I've been saying for the last week or two, if your plan to survive the next couple of weeks and months is to rely on and lean on all of the assistance that the federal and state government is going to provide for you, I fear you may be hungry. I think you need to have a different plan. And I think we're seeing all of that come to light. There's too many people who need too much help. There's not the infrastructure or the systems to get it done quickly. And as we're seeing in very short periods of time, there's just simply not enough money. So again, for those of you who did file PPP or EIDL loan applications, as you get information on yours, if you could just let me know, I'd appreciate knowing what you know and how that's being handled for your businesses so that we can continue to keep each other informed, if that's okay. And just PS, so there are also discussions going on in Washington right now. There was I think a 3 o'clock deadline for another vote to continue to additionally fund some of these programs, and yet there's some squabbling going on about getting them funded. So stay tuned. We'll see how that all works out. Any questions on any of that stimulus crap, right? All of that stuff that everyone is so sick of hearing about. No? Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Oh yes, and I'm getting some information that some people are actually receiving information that they may be eligible, so they're going to send me that, and I'll have better info for you tomorrow on that as I get some of the things from your colleagues. Couple of quick reminders. If you have a hashtag silver lining that you have experienced, you know, it's not all bad. So let's keep focusing on the good. What is your hashtag silver lining? I know that a couple of you sent me some of those things about a week ago that we didn't get to. You are queued up, and so you'll be hearing from me to pop on our 9 a.m.s and our 4:30s, just to kind of share your hashtag silver lining. And I'm looking for more. So if you have found some bright sunny spot in all of this, please do let us know so that we can get you on and have you share that with everybody so that we can keep the positivity moving about. To that, from yesterday's 9 o'clock, if you do have an awesome book that you're reading that you want to tell people about, let me know that too, and we can throw you on for a 20-second book review as well. And so I only have 2 more things before we open it up to questions. First, if you are on this call and you have sent me an email, a text, left me a message, although anyone who's tried to leave me a message in the last week and a half knows that my voicemail is full and I haven't had a chance to clear it yet. So I'm sorry that you haven't been able to leave messages. But if you've sent me any kind of email or text that you haven't gotten a response to, if I owe you something, it's not that I don't love you, and it's not that I've necessarily forgotten. It's just that, and you'll very rarely hear me say this, and yet the mountain of things that I owe many of you is gotten to be to the point where I simply can't keep up. And so if I owe you something, please be a squeaky wheel and let me know that I owe you something. Tell me what it is. If you point me back to an email that you sent a week ago, just tell me the date, and I can absolutely find it. I started last night going backwards and got a couple of additional things done before bedtime, and yet I know there's some of you out there who are waiting for things, and I don't mean to ignore it. It's not that Mike, and it's not you being a pest by bugging me for it. So please let me know what you need, and I will be certain to get on that tonight into tomorrow and get those things to you. And the last thing that I have for you before we open up for questions is your leadership team and I sat earlier today to plan next week's calendar as we do every Thursday, and it dawned on us that we have a lot of things that we know, or at least we think that you need and want, but one of the best ways to make sure that we're delivering to you what it is you want and need from us is to ask. And so I am doing that now. For those of you who are, for the 55 of you who chose to plug in this afternoon, email your team leader, email me, shoot us a text. Let us know what ideas you have for filling our days. Are there things that you have a burning desire to share and teach? We're happy to expand the faculty if you're willing and able to do that. And if you just want to hear or see something that we haven't produced yet, that's a specific need for you, let us know. Because if you need it, my guess is that half the people on this call probably need it as well. And we're happy to design additional content specific to your needs. So please don't be shy. Please just let us know how we can continue to adapt and better everything that we're doing. There's no pride in authorship here. We want to make sure that you're getting what you need at the highest level possible. So please give us that feedback on things that we may be missing, that we might be not thinking about. Or if we did something earlier on and we didn't record it, we're happy to do it again. So just let us know what you need, and we will jump on that for you. Your needs before everything else. I mean, that's kind of how we're operating. So the only way to understand what your needs are at a high level are to ask. So there you go. There's the ask. Any questions on anything we covered today, or anything from the business that you're all continuing to push forward and do? Any struggles you're having, any issues that you want to clear up? Yes, Jacqueline. No?
Yes, sorry. I just want to share something that I just learned, and I don't know, I haven't been on all of these calls. Unfortunately, Rick, I love them.
Yes, we know. We take attendance, so we know the ones you
Okay, so let me know if you've heard this before. I've never heard of this before. I've never done very many short-term rentals, but I'm doing one now, and was told that there's a 15% tax that Connecticut imposes if it's under 90 days. If it's less than 90 days, on the first month's rent, there's a 15% tax imposed on the owner for what they call a room occupancy tax.
So there was an executive order on short-term rentals. I will have to go back and read that more diligently. I did not see any kind of a tax. It should not apply to residential rentals. What there's a moratorium on short-term residential rentals of 30 days or less. So I do know that some of you are doing 5-week leases to skirt around the issue of the moratorium on 30-day or less short-term rentals. I have not seen or heard that tax. I would say that have nobody pay that until I can check that out.
I'm actually looking at, I can email you this if, your email is not exploding, if you can check it out, but
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
It started October 1st, 2019. I don't know if this is something that, has been kind of, pushed aside for right now, but it's actually even a month-to-month, apparently. Month-to-month contracts that are less than 90 days have a 15% tax imposed on them.
Yeah, that's weird, and we are seeing things about an Airbnb tax. So
okay.
Pass that to me. I will. I will do some investigation on that. And see, I thought I was going to bed early tonight. Well, I guess not.
Oh, I'm sorry. It'll save my renter, which is my brother-in-law, $615. So if you can let me know real quick before he signs that lease, I'd love it.
Yeah. So give me till tomorrow. Have him hold off on the lease signing. Let's get clarity around that, and I'm happy to dig in and see what we can find out for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Sure thing. Anything else? So one thing that I would just love if we could take a moment to do, because I think a lot of them are on this call. I'm going to unmute everyone. So if you've got like screaming things happening in the background, everyone hold your ears. I'm going to unmute everybody. I'd like you all just to take 10 seconds to give a massive round of applause to the staff that works so hard for you every single day. They're all doing the absolute best that they can do under very, very trying and difficult and remote circumstances, holding everything together and serving you at the highest level that they possibly can. And I just think they need to know how much you appreciate it. So I'm going to unmute you right now for a 20-second applause.
It's horrible, isn't it?
You're not clapping anymore.
All right. So we just want to make sure that everyone on the call, Steve and Dan and Deb and Lisa and Sam and Adonis and Maria and Robert and Jen all know how lucky we feel to have you guys shepherding us through this time period. Because I'm going to tell you, I know I couldn't do what I do every day without you guys, and I appreciate everything that all that you're giving, because I know you're giving at the highest level. So thank you so much from all of us. And we even got Miles Caldwell on the Zoom today. I love that.
Yeah, you guys are all great, but Miles is by far the cutest.
Indeed. Hi, Miles.
And Rick,
Yes.
a big thank you to you as well. You're keeping us going.
Well, it is my pleasure. It is my absolute pleasure to serve in whatever way that I can do that.
Appreciated.
Any other questions? Paul.
We didn't do the mortgage rate update this morning. I just wanted to throw out there that FHA single family purchase 2.75%. 2.75%. Wow.
Yeah, like I think all of us should just go buy something, like right now.
Right now.
Why not? Why not? All right, guys. Fast and efficient today. I love that. I love that. So it's 4:50. We're going to bid you a fond farewell for the evening. Have fun, be safe, enjoy dinner. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Know that there's a bunch of great things happening for you tomorrow. One plug for something that I'm doing over the course of the next week. Tomorrow is for all cappers. Stephen or Adonis, remind me when the two are next week. Tomorrow is cappers.
It's Tuesday and
Okay,
Thursday.
so Tuesday is for anyone who is a non-capper, at least as of right this moment. So cappers in training, if you will. And then Thursday is for any of the Rainmakers and their teams. We're hosting masterminds at 1 o'clock tomorrow for cappers, Tuesday for all cappers in training, and Thursday at 1 o'clock for all Rainmakers and their teams to really dive into what does it look like now. We all have these business plans that we created in December or November for 2020. What do we need to change about those business plans? Right? I told you the other day, and I stand by this, that I'm not willing to give up on your income, and yet the plan to get there does need to change and adapt, right? And so tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we'll spend about an hour. We'll spend the first half hour kind of talking through some important points about how we're going to change what we're going to change, and then spend the second half of our time together masterminding with each other about how that looks in your business and sharing ideas. Again, tomorrow is for anyone who has ever capped or has come to us from another company where if they had been with us previous, they would have capped. Tuesday is for anyone who has never capped in our model, and Thursday is for Rainmakers and their teams. Bring your business plans that you wrote in December with you so that we can have them to reference, and we will kind of go through those, pick those apart, see what we're going to keep, what we're going to toss, and what we're going to adapt. That is the plan for the next couple of days. All right, guys. Have a spectacular evening. Have a lovely dinner. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock, bright and early. Good night.
Thank you.